Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. And it feels really good, to be honest, to be recording in the new format. And yeah, the new set, post-rotation, feels great. So this is going to be my first impressions with the Hops Zacian EX deck. This is, of course, the free deck that TCG Live gives you, which is very nice, very generous, all the rest of it. But yeah, I just wanted to offer some initial thoughts. And to be honest, it's been okay. Like, it's been all right. It's been fine. It's not like the best starter deck I've played on live, but it's not the worst either. And the ladder is certainly crawling with these right now. Like, chances are you'll get a lot of mirror matches, I feel like. But yeah, it's honestly been a bunch of fun. Like, as someone who played a lot of our Child On before it got really buggy, it's quite fun to be able to play this card again. But yeah, for the most part, the deck is fairly straightforward. You just want to use our Child On EX's ability, Assemble Alloy, to charge up 2 basic energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon when it evolves, which can either be our Child On itself to do 220, which is pretty good against, like smaller HP basic decks. I know you said Zacian, but like you wouldn't be able to KO Zacian. Like you would have to be carrying something like a Miraidon, for example. So that's slightly unfortunate on our Child On's part, but still quite cool. But yeah, Zacian EX is of course the main attacker here, Insta Strike, doing 30 damage for one colorless and 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And then Brave Slash does 240 with more, well, it's 3 metal and a color, so it is quite expensive. I know you said it was cheap, but no, it's expensive. Even with like Archaladon and stuff, it's a bit pricey. And it says during a next turn, this Pokemon can't attack, but the main appeal behind this deck really is you can stack all these buffs. So Snorlax plus 30, you've got the tool card and the stadium to stack another plus 30 each. Hop's Choice Band also reduces your attack cost by 1 colorless. So you can actually use Brave Slash for 3 metal, which is pretty powerful. So that can be quite cool. You can get up to like 270, 300 with this, which is quite scary. But, I haven't had to do that many times, really. It's just mostly been insta-striking for the win. So, I think in the future, then like a more refined Zacian deck will be built more around Brave Slash. But for the most part, it does feel like a tried and tested spread deck. Also got Hops Cramorant in here. Very, very good card. Not really needed to use it that much, though, which is quite surprising. Fickle Spitting for 1 colorless does a whopping 120. And if your opponent doesn't have exactly 3 or 4 prize cards remaining, this attack will do nothing. So, yeah, just be careful that you don't do what one of my opponents did, which was try to attack with Cramorant when I didn't have 3 or 4 prize cards left. Yeah, it was kind of sad, but yeah, try not to do that. But yeah, that's Hops Crabmant. Of course, if you attach the tool card, then you can do 150 for free, which is cool. And if you have a Snorlax in play, that becomes 180. If you have a Stadium in play, it becomes 210. Like you get the general idea, really. And I've not really changed too much of this list. Oh, I haven't talked about the sheep, actually. Honorable mention to Dubwool. This will be the first thing I cut, by the way, when I start really modifying this list. But yeah, the sheep is it's a bit weak. It does have the ability to find Torn that says when you place Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot, which it seems really good, right? But bench space does feel a bit tight, and I would definitely like to make room for stuff like Budew and just general support Pokemon like the Dunsparce, I feel like. So I can definitely see the sheep being cut. But as for some minor list changes, just to have a bit of a better experience, I cut out a 1-1 line of our Chaladon, so just 1 copy of each, just to make way for another copy of Switch. And then the other card I wasn't so sure about adding, but I just added the 3rd copy of Earthen Vessel for now. So that's probably going to change as well. But yeah, 2 copies of Switch because this original list only plays 1, which I feel is kind of asking for trouble. Like, I know you have Professor Turo's Scenario, which is effectively a similar role for Switch. And you also have, where is it? Your ace spec is Scoop Up Cyclone, right? But there was a few instances where my opponent could just boss Snorlax. I either didn't have a Switch left or was prized. And it was just like, yeah, this just feels awful to lose to boss. So I decided it was way better with more switches. So yeah, if you're going to take anything away from this video, basically, just add another switch in somehow. But yeah, that's basically the deck in a nutshell. Don't have too much else to say about it. Hops Bag is another really good item, but it can only find basic Hops Pokemon. And a lot of the time, you will want stuff like Pheasantipity or, Duraludon, for example. So yeah, Hops Bag is good, but it's not like super broken or anything in this deck. But yeah, that's kind of it for new cards. There was this new one, Redeemable Ticket, which is all right. Count your prize cards, shuffle them in, and put them on the bottom of your deck. then take that many cards from the top of your deck and put them face down as your prize cards. Kind of an interesting card, not had to use it yet in any games, but seems kind of fun, so hopefully it'll be important in the future. But yeah, that's kind of it really. More bosses probably needed in this. Counter Catcher for sure, because you don't have to like Gust and try and Arvin in the same turn, so yeah, it can be a bit rough. But yeah, that's kind of like my first initial impressions with Hop Zacian. For sure, it's going to need some modifications and some upgrades, for sure, absolutely. But yeah, honestly, as a big fan of spread decks and like Zacian in general, this has been a lot of fun. So yeah, let me know what you think of this down below. Spam power. And yeah, thank you for watching. So I think going into my opponent's turn here, we just have to see if they can get an Archaladon down, which it kind of looks like they will with the Arvin. Now, last turn I did have a chance to use the Ultra Ball, which maybe I should have used, to be honest, just to dig a bit further, especially with research. But I have locked myself out of that play, I guess, so it's just a case of seeing what my opponent gets up to, really. After all, they did go first, which is, yeah, a little bit sad, but we'll have to see how this pans out. So my opponent nest balls, can't think that they want anything too drastic. Bit early for Hop's Cramorant, to be honest, but maybe they don't really fancy setting up double yet. Want to save it, but yeah, I guess Cramorant can be useful. And yep, another energy on Duraludon. That's fair. So are we seeing a Archaladon EX this turn? Nope, just a Hammerin. That's interesting. Because I can quite easily KO this if I get some stuff. Like a Snorlax. So that's cool. Bunch of Snorlax. And I don't really want to lose these two because they're just so good for stalling them out a bit. But I think... yeah, I think I'm just going to discard them. We'll discard Switch and Cyclone. We have another Switch in deck because I added one to the list. So I'll Ultra Ball them away. And I don't really need the Hops Cramorant, so I think we just want another Zacian, actually. Yeah, another Zacian seems absolutely fine. Could set up a Duraludon, to be fair, though, but I'm okay with doing this. So we'll put one of them down. We do only have one thingy in deck, so I'm okay with doing this, I think. And then we'll play a Research. So right now we are doing enough to KO Duraludon, but... and I don't think I need that just yet. Could Earthen Vessel, but... yeah, I guess I'll just Earthen Vessel. Why not? Thin the deck out a bit. Discard energy for the Dura if we need it to. Get two more out of the deck. So yeah, because we have a Stadium in play, and my opponent's most likely just playing Postwick, then that's a bit of a dead card, but at least we can use it to, you know, as discard fodder really for Ultra Ball. So yeah, we KO Duraludon here, and then we can poke something else. So, I mean, I could just keep poking the Zacian, I guess. Just keep poking away. Of course, they could retaliate and KO Zacian, but they would need kind of a lot, and they only have a 3-card hand as well, so... what is this lag? Good grief. Okay, take a prize card. What is it? Energy. Okay, pretty useless, but, well, I suppose we always need more energy, right? But... so yeah, we just keep wanting to soften this guy up, and then start, I guess, poking this one. Although we can easily hit 110, so... so there's the Wooloo. So we could start sniping Wooloo, maybe? Although Archaladon does have a lot of HP, so... yeah, it's tricky. I could also Turo, but I don't want to run out of my my good options. Does this matter really? 90, 100, 150? Not much. Put another energy down there. Yes, I know, timer. Don't need to hurry me up. I know what I'm doing. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. That's the problem. Turo? No, we'll save that. I have a nasty feeling they're going to try and, like, boss stall something. So we'll save the Turo. I will poke this, because I think it's important. And yeah, we don't really need to do much. So my opponent will use double. So they're going to KO Snorlax. It's kind of looking that way, actually. And they put the energy on Zacian. That is brave. Yeah, that feels quite brave by them because now they don't have energy. I mean, they can use Cramorant, right? But yeah, that does feel quite brave on my opponent's part. So, what do I want to do here? I could just go for the big bonk move, Brave Slash. Which I might do, actually. Night Stretch. Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I could have, like, return KO them with Cramorant, but I still would have needed to find Cramorant, so, like, yeah, could have gone either way, I'm guessing, but yeah, fair enough, I guess. Things were going downhill for them.